Hi guys, welcome to another episode of All Talks Female Engineers. This is episode 2. I do hope that you guys did watch episode 1. But I am so excited to, interview this person in particular because this girl has done so much in just a space of, 5 years, 6 years, so much. But anyway, for those that do not know what All Talks is all about, we are a platform that encourages, empower and educate women to become engineers, those that are in the path of becoming engineers, and just ladies who wants to know, what do female engineers do? And in today's episode, like I said, I've been wanting to interview this person in particular. She is an SAICE, right?
SAICE, yeah.
Oh, SAICE Graduate Award winner, guys. Wow. And she is a civil engineer by profession. So please do help me to welcome TK. Dude.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask you a few questions that our audience will hear from you. Firstly, please do introduce yourself to the audience. Who is TK? What does TK do? All those stuff.
Okay, alright, thank you. So I am Takalani Netshipale, TK, and I'm a civil engineer and project manager. I've been working for 5 to 6 years. Yeah, I've been working for 5 to 6 years, and I currently work in a project management space where I manage projects. But I've also worked in construction. I've also worked in consulting. And yeah, I'm from Pretoria, but I'm currently working in Pietermaritzburg, KZN.
Look, from Gauteng and all you jump all these provinces, girl, all the way to PNB. Wow, guys. So I have a few questions that I want to ask you.
Okay.
And I wrote them down. Please do mind me. I write all the questions down so that I don't forget. How did you decide on studying civil engineering? And also, whilst there, why did you study it?
Okay.
And where?
Okay, so I did my BEng civil engineering undergrad at the University of Pretoria.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, and I went into civil engineering because they said there's money in there. I don't want to lie. I'm generally an artist at heart, sketching, painting. I tried going into graphic designing.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, it's cute, but there's no money there. And I said, okay, let me try the next one. So I tried architecture.
Yeah.
And I applied at the University of Wits. And the assignment that they gave us was horrible.
Really?
They wanted us to sketch our day-to-day route and what we're thinking. And I'm like, this is a lot of work. And I then ran away from it. I was like, hey, let me just do civil engineering.
Yeah.
Because I also thought there's a lot of sketching, and then someone just said, oh, it's sketching in maths and science. And yeah, ever since I started it, I fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that you do as a civil engineer. There's something for everyone. And yeah, that's why I chose it.
True that. Oh my goodness. Civil engineering is one filled way. I know people will be like, it involves a lot of doing. I think also it depends on where you work, where you will use the drawing side of it. And was your place of study the first place to study in civil engineering per se, or did you want to go elsewhere? Because I know we all do have stories where we applied there and then, was there an institution that you wanted to go to specifically?
I think I was scared of being too far away from home. I would lie. I liked the idea of University of Pretoria, but I had to apply to a second university in case it didn't work out. So I did apply at Wits and University of Pretoria, but it was my first choice. Yeah, because it's not too far from home. and I just thought of buying flight tickets to Cape Town.
It's a lot.
It's gonna be a lot. Yeah, so it was definitely my first choice.
I know a lot of people do want to move away from home, so you're one of the people very special who wants to stay in close proximity to home, because like she said, home is Pretoria and she decided to go to the University of Pretoria. How did you find the course, its hardships, and like the modules? What were challenging? What was challenging there?
Yeah, no, I don't want to lie. University of Pretoria is a whole nother level of difficulty.
Yeah.
Especially it starts from first year. Like it doesn't even like give you a chance to breathe.
Right?
Like my first subject that showed me flames was material sciences, NMC, and it literally taught me that this whole I'm just gonna study it and remember and pass. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't. You had to understand the work, because they would ask you from the back and say, okay, this is the answer, how do I get to the answer? And you're like, what?
That's what I was gonna answer you. Now you're giving me the answer.
Yo, exactly.
Yeah.
So you had to apply yourself a lot into understanding the work. What other subjects were bad? I think all the subjects, like everyone had their own, weakness. I don't want to lie. For me, it was material sciences.
Yeah.
There was a math module as well that was showing me planes, and strength of materials, programming, coding. So be happy that they're teaching you guys coding in high school, because we never had that.
Are they teaching them?
They are. Well,
Really?
with some of the curriculums, they are. Yeah.
Oh,
They're
wow.
trying to incorporate it into their curriculum, so that when they get to varsity, it's not a surprise. It was a surprise.
I didn't know that, but that's actually great, because now me programming. At first, I was just like, because I'm just Christ, what is happening? What is happening?
Yo, so yeah, no, it was challenging. I think for me as well.
Yeah.
Studying a course which doesn't have a lot of females.
Yes.
So you had to work with a lot of guys. And University of Pretoria is special, because there's a lot more, white people and black people.
Yeah.
So if you weren't used to that, it could have also been a culture shock.
Yes.
But as the years went on and you guys actually started being friends with each other, you were able to help each other.
Yeah.
It's just trying to balance school and everything else that's happening. It was hard. It was extremely hard.
But how did you do that? Like, how did you? Because there are people who be like, yo, I am struggling, I don't know what is happening. And if there's been somebody who's been in like that space of mind, what would you say to the others? How did
I do it?
overcome that?
Sure. So I think for me, it was just making sure that whatever time that I had, or whatever free time that I had in the beginning, I actually use it. And I mean, I learned this trick very late, like when I was doing my honors after I left.
Yeah.
But I realized that it's always good to do that. The earlier you can start with something, the better. Because what happens is as the months go on, you have more assignments. Now you don't have time to actually apply yourself to studying. So doing it earlier is better. Doing it with friends as well. Studying with friends. Sharing information. We had classmates that were stingy.
You with information, right? I thought I felt that alone, and I'm just like,
it was so annoying. And literally, like, because you get past papers from like maybe someone that that studied the course, and they just wouldn't share it. But one thing I've seen is that the more you share, the more you'll get.
Yeah.
And our class was one of those that when we eventually realized, oh no, we all want to pass. Then we started sharing memos and stuff like that. That helps a lot. As well, sharing or studying with friends that are pushing definitely helps a lot, because sometimes it's something that everyone understands and then you don't.
You don't.
This is someone that's there to help you out.
Yeah, and like show you in their perspective, and try to that is actually true. Even like you say, even when you're studying postgrad and all the other things, that's very important to just mingle with people, because what you don't understand, they might understand it. And then in the positions that you held as an engineer, what kind of job like what kind of things as a civil engineer have you encountered with your work in the different positions, but also in your current one?
Okay, you. Yes, working is different.
Yeah.
For me, the first job that I was in, I think I didn't know anything about what's supposed to happen, because I think in varsity they sold us this idea that everyone is ready for you. Everyone is ready for you. You just need to go there and you go into Excel. But then you will work in spaces that they also don't know what they need to do for you. They're willing to learn, but you also don't know that you need to tell them. So the challenges was trying to navigate through, okay, am I doing the right work? Am I getting the right exposure as a civil engineer? You know, what do I need to do? How much should I get paid? That was also something else.
That's one of the questions. Yeah.
And so it was hard navigating through it, and it had to take me a few years of maybe speaking to my fellow colleagues or my fellow friends on what I actually need to be doing. And that's when I only started waking up and saying, you know, maybe I need to try something different. So I did try and find opportunities in the company, and unfortunately they were not able to help me, so I left. I went into construction. And being on site, generally they do say you start from scratch. No matter how many years you worked in the office, you start from scratch. So you have to learn while you're doing it. You know, that's the thing I will say about construction. You learn as you're doing it, and the people that you learn from are mostly the guys on the ground. So your foremen, your laborers, those are the guys that you actually get more information from.
That's actually true.
Yeah, no, it is, because I mean the engineers sit in the office and they manage, but the people that are actually building the structure are the ones on the ground, and they've been working for years, so they know when to order this or what to order, or they can see when something is not right on site. And then obviously the challenge of, you know, being the only female on site, the only female engineer at some point. It was challenging, you know, and everyone had this masculine energy, like, you need to scream. I remember, someone came to me and they're like, you need to. Yes.
Okay. Are you trying to make me a man, or not saying it's a bad thing? Like sometimes you have to stand your ground so that people don't play on your head. But I don't know. It's like they want you to
change. No, I couldn't do that. I literally couldn't. I had to. I don't want to say I tried it. Maybe I might have tried it once or twice, but I realized that my way was better.
Yes.
So, you know, obviously them not trusting you because you're not doing what they expect you to do. That mistrust, yes, that was a very big challenge. But once you're able to show that it's working, then they start trusting you.
True.
And then, because of COVID, it got changed. And then the funny thing about it is every time I mention that I actually worked in an advertising space, people are like, what? How did you get there? Look, I was unemployed, and a very good friend of mine offered me a job, and I was an operations manager. I don't even know how I got there, but I was managing everyone and everything, and proposals and strategic documents that we had to do. And then eventually went back into the industry. So worked on site again as a resident engineer. So now I'm not the one building the structure. I'm managing the guys that are building the structure. Okay. So I'm checking their quality. I'm checking how much they're spending. And even with that, because you're a female and you're a young female, they also looked at you like, does she even know what she's doing? It was too much.
Every time. Every time.
So and then but I think that those were the only challenges. It was better, being in a more senior position. And then I went to KZN, and
which is where you are right now.
Which is where I am now. So as a project leader, they call us project leaders. You manage your own projects. So that's where now you have to identify what the problem is, diagnose it yourself or with other professionals, and come up with a solution that then will need other consultants or contractors to work on your project. And the challenges are accountability. Like,
because nobody wants to be accountable of anything, especially if it goes wrong.
yes.
They don't want to be accountable for it. So now, because you're the engineer, it'll be like on you.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the thing. So I think that's the one thing I will say. Just you being responsible. That's the biggest challenge, especially if you don't know what you're doing, or you don't know who to turn to, or how to spend your money, or how to not spend. Because with government, because I'm currently working in a government office, it's very finicky. It's very, very finicky. But yeah, I'm currently writing it up.
Are you enjoying it?
I am. Just.
I believe that government has like different challenges every day.
Yeah.
Well, in any engineering space, but you see a government every day.
Every day.
Limo.
Ish. We are
We're
fighting.
just fighting, hey? Alright. And then how is the structure in the current company that you're working in? How do they come about supporting female in engineering?
Okay. I think with, especially our department.
Yeah.
So our department has civil engineers, electrical, mechanical, quantity surveyors, and construction project managers. So in terms of the professionals in the space. And the civil engineering part is fairly new. They recently employed a candidate technician, a professional civil engineer, then they employed me as a candidate civil engineer.
Yeah.
And I highly believe that them choosing me was also their direction of trying to employ more women. Because at the interview, all the guys around me, it was only guys around me. And, you also do feel threatened because that one did that project. Oh, no, I'm working in this space. And, you start of feeling like maybe it's not worth coming to the interview. And for me to be employed by them already, it's a big win.
Yes.
Yeah, but what they also do is they try and, like I said, push you to have your own projects.
Yeah.
They are also trying to come up with better training strategy, but it's also coming up. And recently my former chief director, he came to me and he said, I've been seeing you posting about all these things that you're doing outside.
Yeah.
I'm currently an ambassador for WomEng and 1 Million Girls in STEM. So he says, I always see you post these things, and when you post them, you're sharing that you're passionate about what you're doing.
Yes.
And because of that, he said, okay, I'm supposed to attend a seminar, a summit actually, and he's not able to go present. And he said, I should go present.
Oh, is it the time when you presented?
Yes,
Oh,
and
my word,
at the
that's so
Women Engineering
great.
Summit. Yes, so
And
I
this
was
is a guy?
shocked. It's a guy.
Oh my word.
And he said, I can see that you're going far, and he's definitely like a spokesperson for women
Yeah.
in engineering and trying to retain them. So
Oh,
he
that's
said,
so
what?
nice.
Go and represent us. And I was like, wow, okay, that is big.
How nice is it to have like those kind of men? If it's female, we understand because us, but like to have a man say, hey, and advocate for women to be in this field, that's great.
It was amazing.
That is great.
Yeah.
No, I like the fact that he actually did that, and you know what? I hope it shows other people, Kuti, you need to groom your people, and especially females, because you just have to be fighting everywhere. You just need to be fighting everywhere. Every time we're just fighting, but it's great in a way because it builds character.
Yes.
And you just become a whole another person when you've achieved so many things as a female engineer. Wow, that's amazing. And then do they have like programs as well?
So at the moment, no, it's not structured yet, and I think even with them trying to employ us, they're moving towards the right direction. So unfortunately, it's still upcoming. I have also told them, hey guys, if you want to retain us as women and actually employ more women and actually be attractive, to other women
Yes.
when they apply for the jobs. You need to have a structured training program. But what I've seen is we've got a new batch of interns that came in, and I can see that the efforts are better for them to be trained. So they've taken them on training, and then they've trained them on the online system that we use for projects. So I can see that they actually want to push them. They also pushed us to make sure that we put together something for the interns to say, this is where you are now, but that's where you actually need to be.
Go, yes.
And as well as that where you want to go. And this is what we think you can use from this work experience to get to that point. So we're also part of the change, but it's still coming up.
It's still coming up. No, that's great. As long as it's in the pipeline and not people being like ignorant with that fact.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you studied and worked at the same time. Congratulations for that. How did you juggle it? Like, guys, studying and working?
Like, working and studying, guys, was something else. Like, it was challenging as ever, honestly. Because of the fact that you have a full-time job.
Yeah.
So you do have days where you might have to work over weekends or you work after hours. And at the same time, you need to apply yourself to study. And those deadlines don't change.
They don't. They keep on going.
They keep on going. They don't change at all. And it just gets harder and harder and harder. And I think that's where I also realized the whole procrastination thing. I mean, I did my honors, and I was studying for about 3 years, because at Tux, everything takes a little longer. It's a little longer. So, the first 2 years I was writing it out, but I realized in my last year that, oh my goodness, I need to actually apply myself.
Yes.
And that's when you have to use those random weekends where you are going to chill and do nothing. Take your books, start studying, or start planning out what you need to do. Because as the months go on, your work piles up, you will travel more often. When you now need to take leave to go and study and write your exams, there's like a pile of work that you're leaving behind, making you feel bad about it. So it's challenging. It's
very challenging. It's very challenging. But we applaud you guys who are doing it, eh? We applaud Nati. Well, we
also studying. Yes.
Yeah, and it was difficult. So I was like, how are people doing it? Like every time, like, guys, how are people studying and working at the same time? But it's just to find a balance, I guess. Like you say, you find a balance, and you need to start early. I'm gonna ask you this question. It says, what do you like about being a female civil engineer?
Okay, so being a female civil engineer it's very different. It's very new. There's a lot of people that they are very surprised. It's like, oh, you're an engineer and you're a female, because of the fact that they know it's a very male-dominated space. So you're actually seen to have like some form of bravery, like you're brave to do that. And actually what I actually like about it, especially in this moment of this era or this decade, is that all the upcoming engineers or female engineers are also supporting each other and they're encouraging one another.
Yeah, true.
We're trying to make sure that we increase the population so that it's not a surprise anymore. It needs to become a norm that we've got female engineers. But more so just being a civil engineer in general, the fact that there's a lot of disciplines that go into civil engineering, a lot, and you also literally serve a purpose, to your community. So it's more than just sketching a bridge or just building a fancy bridge. It's about also helping the community, building a hospital for them, making sure that you protect their safety, protecting the public safety, and building structures that are sustainable and will last long, and not just doing it for now. So I think those are the biggest things that I love about a female civil engineer.
All right. In an industry dominated by male, what are your insecurities?
So my insecurities, I think, the fact that we are gonna get to a point where we get pregnant and get married. I know that men look at it differently. So they look at it as you will never be to your fullest potential because of the fact that now you're gonna need to be a mother. You will need to give birth and take care of your family. So I am slightly insecure about that. So even now, like when I'm applying to jobs, I will say, oh no husband, no kids. And it always creeps up. It's like, okay, why are you telling us? But it's just that thing of, oh, by the way, I'm very much capable now.
Yeah.
I still will be, but
Even
just know that I'm highly capable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
These type of things. And then what has your profession helped you to date?
My profession has helped me as well, being a resilient person, because it's not the easiest course, it's not the easiest industry. So it's taught me to be strong, to stand up for myself, but more so to embrace and being a technical person. Some of us want to do all these nice things, but our industry pushes us to, number one, keep up to date with what's happening in the world, in your country, and as well being technically inclined and understanding that, okay, I need to be good in this, or I need to be good in something, because of the fact that at some point you want to register as a professional engineer. So it also gives me that edge, like, oh, I'm a female engineer. It's a very nice edge.
Yeah, it is. It is like you feel somehow, man. You feel somehow. We're coming to almost the end. There's a few questions to this, and one of it is, you were nominated for what you just won, the SAICE Graduate Award. How does it feel? How did it come about? Like, congratulations, by the way.
It's big. It becomes bigger every single time I talk about it. And for me, when I even applied for it, because I applied for it 2 years in a row, and the first year it was only because I was just trying it out. I didn't even think I will get anywhere. So I filled out the forms, and the criteria was very steep. And that's it. I just buried it, and unfortunately they didn't really inform everyone whether they made it or not. And the day after the award ceremony, because I couldn't get into the award ceremony for some weird reason, someone was like, I saw your name. And I'm like, you saw my name where? And they're like, no, you were a finalist. I was just someone else won it. And I'm like, I was a finalist. And for me, that was huge. That was huge. And understanding that, that's when I started realizing that sometimes we work and we actually don't sit back and appreciate ourselves and how far we've come. So then I said, I'm going to apply again next year. And I was like, this time I'm going to make sure
that you know.
So I literally applied. I made sure that I interacted with everyone in SAICE. I made sure that I'm at every single event. I was like, they must know that I'm coming for it. And even if I wasn't going to win it, for me, just growing my network in that space was very helpful. But when I won it, it was like, okay, so this is happening now. It was quite big. It's quite big. And I think the fact that it's a national organization, so nationally there was a panelist of people, and they said, okay, she deserves this award. I think that's big. That's very big.
So for you to, like, you said you applied, right?
Yes.
You need to be a part of SAICE.
Yes. Basically, you need to be a part of SAICE.
Okay, you can't just, if you're not, and then you apply for it. All right, and then you are part of many. Many, and I say many because this girl is just everywhere. Warm age girl with something, like, guys. So you're part of these type of organizations that help young females. What are they, and how can one become part of them?
Okay, so because of the fact that, as I said, a lot of women are scared of being engineers or studying engineering, they've developed different organizations at different levels. So your Women and 1 Million Girls in STEM is focused at encouraging girls in high school. And that you can actually join as a high school student or just as someone who's working, studying, to be an ambassador on their website at womenage.org. And yeah, it's simple, it's free. And as a student, I think there's different levels whether you can be an ambassador or just join part of the program. But they also have fellowship programs where they go and they train you on, what is engineering, not just engineering, STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Yeah.
And they train you on who you are, how do you actually become this specific person in that industry, and how do you stand out as a woman. And then, which other association? Okay, well, SAICE then, because civil engineers then would join SAICE. You're actually able to join from being a student. It's actually free. You just have to go onto the website, SAICE, SAICE, yes.
I will just put it there.
You put it there.
Yeah.
And you can register as a student, free membership. They have webinars, they've got events that they host sometimes, orientated to encourage and motivate students to continue in their journey of being a civil engineer. And
yeah, also a candidate engineer.
Yes, I'm also a candidate engineer with the Engineering Council of South Africa. So even with that, when you want to be a professional engineer or technician or technologist, you need to register with EXA, but you start off on candidate level. So once you've graduated, you obtained your qualification on hand, then you apply to EXA as a candidate, work your 3 years minimum, make sure that you monitor what the requirements are with your supervisor as well, and then eventually you can register as a professional, which is what I'm still doing.
Yeah, what we are the path to, hey?
It's getting there.
But yeah, oh wow, like I said, you see what I say, you are literally everywhere. And then what would you say to your 15-year-old self?
What would I say? Especially 15-year-old.
Especially.
Because I was very shy, people wouldn't actually believe it.
I wouldn't. I was like Tiken's talk guy, like Tiken Wabua.
I was so shy. I just did my work, I wasn't really speaking much. I would say to myself, just dive into the deep end, push yourself to do anything and everything to network. Like one thing I've seen is that networking helps a lot because you meet people, you engage with people, and it's nerve-wracking. Sometimes you will meet people that are much better than you.
True.
But they will never be in a position where they say, oh, you're much better than me. I'm gonna talk to you. Yeah, it's not like that. And yeah, I would also just encourage myself to just be brave. Just be brave in every single decision that you make. I've done a lot of brave decisions. Even my move to KZN was very brave.
Yeah.
But I would just motivate myself to just be brave. The world is yours and others. Just keep on pushing.
Keep on pushing, guys. Keep on. I like that. Be brave and keep on pushing. Although you face all these obstacles, just know you. And then, what advice would you give to those who are embarking on the journey to become engineers?
The advice I'll give you is just understand the challenges, that are there and learn to work with them because they're not going anywhere. And the more you work with them, the more they actually start diminishing because if someone knows that they're not going to give you memos, you just find the next person to give you memos and then you just say, oh yes, now I got those memos from another person, and you just keep it moving. Don't hate them, don't try and let it get to you. Use those challenges to uplift yourself, and always understand that the aim is to continuously keep growing. It is hard. It's hard studying engineering, but it only gets better. You will get that qualification. You will start working. You will become a professional engineer. You will do it because we are doing it.
Yes.
So just keep on keeping on and always look out for motivation. Speak to others that are in higher positions. They're always willing to hear you out, always willing to to also assist you. And speak up. I know they always want women to be humble, but speak up and, share what you feel. There's someone that's listening.
True.
And there's someone that's also willing to.
True.
Yes.
And we are here as well as A.T.F.E. If you want anything, you want to meet up with her or anything, website, guys, go onto our website, my Instagram pages, just communicate with us.
Yeah.
And then I'll also put her Instagram handle so that you guys communicate with her as well. And then outside of being an engineer, what else do you do?
Oh wow.
What else do you do?
I travel. I travel a lot.
Yeah.
I enjoy traveling and just seeing beautiful places with nice views. And what else do I do? I haven't done like the artsy stuff in a while, like painting and sketching, but I also enjoy like being able to provide strategic input. So if a person is starting a company or a business and they're not sure which direction to take, or they don't know how to get themselves into the market or to expand themselves, I'm currently working in that space. And yeah, thank you. And yeah, I think I love the idea of photography, but we've got pros in it.
I wish I was, but hey,
She's pro. But yeah, no. Other than that, yeah, it's mainly just trying to as well mentor. Sorry, I forgot to mention that I also do mentor students as well and interns on how to grow themselves and achieve what they want to become as civil engineers as well. Yeah, that's basically what I do.
And then any last words?
I think the thing about it is if I can do it, you can do it, and if other higher upper women can do it, so can you. It seems impossible, but you can do it. And when do you do it? You do it now. You start now. You apply now for next year. You will get funding somehow. But all you need to do is push. Yeah. Because sometimes we say, I want to wait until I get money. Sometimes you need to have faith in yourself to say, I will study and I will get funding. And you apply somehow.
I'm a testament to that, actually.
That's awesome, hey?
Yeah. Alright, thank you so much for coming through, and thank you guys for watching. I do hope you like this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Do subscribe to my channel, and there's a lot more that's coming on this platform. I cannot wait to share it with you guys. But do like, comment, and engage with us. Any questions you have, put it on the description, in the comment section, and then engage with us on the social. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye. Mwah.